So somehow the Pacers have come in links with the Clippers. So now there's a Clippers-Pacers trade proposal out there. And I have to say, to me, the trade proposal is quite interesting because I feel like the Pacers, based upon this trade proposal of some sources that I read on a couple of sites where you can see NBAanalysis.net and a few other sites you can check out and actually see more detail about it. But the trade proposal is actually kind of crazy because I feel like the Pacers are trying to offer the house, basically their whole team for Paul George. And, there's also been other reports about Paul George's name being put out there in regards to a trade. And I know this can't make Paul George feel really good because his name is being shopped around more even than Marcus Morris, and somebody who's basically on the bench or been on the team the last couple of years that ain't really been carrying their weight. You see what I'm saying? So in hindsight, you ask yourself, why is Paul George's name being shopped around or put out there much more than even somebody like Marcus Morris on the team, who's basically, a good player, but at the same time, he hasn't been living up to the $60 million contract I think they gave him about 3-4 seasons ago in regards to not showing up in big moments, which is the playoffs, and, being available as well. But as you see here, Buddy Hield, TJ McConnell, Daniel Tice, several picks, even a future pick. Basically what you're seeing here as you look at the screen, they're basically willing to give up all their assets, for him specifically. And if that's what they're going to do, then you got to look at it from maybe the standpoint of they're just trying to do anything they can to get at Paul George or get Paul George back from the Clippers, maybe back on the Pacers, and mortgaging basically a lot of their talent and all their picks and basically all their assets says a team is very desperate or shows desperation from a team. So if there's desperation from a team, then a lot of times, you can get good pieces out of them. But there again, this situation here, I personally think the Clippers should just overlook, because I don't really think they should trade Paul George for a bunch of pieces. I don't think they should. If they're going to trade Paul George, as I said before, if you're going to trade Kawhi, PG, anybody of that caliber, you need something in return that's really worth a damn, something that's valuable, not a bunch of just guys they could just have around and, they play good and they're good role players. You need star players. So my point is, I'm not trading Paul George or Kawhi Leonard or anybody or somebody on that level for a bunch of guys. I'm not doing it. And if I were the Clippers, I definitely wouldn't do it, because you have an opportunity to win a championship once again, if those guys can stay healthy and, run the table in the West. So if you got that opportunity, then, it's really no need to try to, go after a bunch of other pieces or anything like that, or not even entertain what some of these teams are talking about. And this is one of the situations with the Pacers. I wouldn't even entertain this if I were the Clippers. I would just leave it be. I wouldn't worry about it. I would just overlook this. This is not something that I think the Clippers should even look into. Don't get me wrong. I like Buddy Hield. I think he's a really good piece. I think Buddy Hield can actually be a stretch shooter for a team that's trying to win a championship. I think he's good. I think he's that good. I think he's underrated a little bit defensively. I think he's a really good player. I just don't think he's going to get the credit he deserves simply because, he's on a team like the Pacers. But you could say that about a lot of players on the teams like the Pacers. But either way, like I said, I like what he brings. I like his mentality. I like everything about Buddy Hield and a couple of other guys, that they have offering, but it's just not worth it. And there again, the Clippers as an organization, you got to stop entertaining things that's not worth a damn. If you're not trading Paul George for somebody like a Damian Lillard or, somebody of that caliber or, something like that, it's not really worth even talking about, honestly. Or James Harden or somebody like that. I don't even really think it's worth even speaking on at this point. So, honestly, I wouldn't even look the direction of Indiana. I know they're just trying to get what they can, out of the Clippers in regards to, getting all the star power they can get and better their team. But of course, the Clippers have to look at it from one standpoint. You don't want to make a team better than yours. You want to make your team better than theirs because you're trying to win a championship and you have good enough team and good enough pieces on your team to win currently. So, giving away pieces, the main pieces is really going to hurt if they're not getting something back substantial that's really worth their time time or like worth, with what they're offering. You see what I'm saying? So I personally think, when it comes to Paul George, somebody like that, you gotta give me somebody like Damian Lillard or somebody like that if you're going to propose a trade. Now, I know the Damian Lillard thing is not going to work out based upon the reports, but I'm saying if you're not getting somebody to that caliber, what are we talking about? It's a waste of time. A team can offer you the house. They can offer you all the money in the world. They can offer you, their arena. It doesn't matter. If you're not getting the equivalency of the player, what are we talking about? It's a waste of time. And I think that's something that the Clippers organization has to realize. Don't try to go out and do more than what you have to. Your team is pretty much built to win a championship. The only thing that's been stopping you is health. It hasn't been anything else. So if only thing is stopping you is health, then you really don't need to recruit or get more players. You just need to weed out some of the ones on the roster that may not be a fit anymore or not playing up to the level of expectation, which is, to me, the only player that I can really think on the Clippers that really needs to be traded or should have been traded was Marcus Morris, or is Marcus Morris. And maybe you could throw in one of the young guys off the bench if you want to add or put the icing on the cake and make a team, want to, accept the offer. But other than that, other than him, I feel like, the team they have is pretty substantial, pretty solid. So I would stick with what you got. But either way, hey, leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk about it.